To nobody's surprise, there is a whole lot of combat in Black Myth Wukong, and it can get pretty dang tough. So if you're having trouble, here are some combat tips to help you get accustomed to the many systems within the game and take down its incredible bosses. In Black Myth Wukong, you have a variety of different stances. These all offer up different ways to attack your enemies. For example, the pillar stance allows you to balance atop your staff, which lets you unleash a heavy attack with a decent range. The thrust stance lets you charge up your heavy to stab enemies from a distance. And the smash stance, well, it lets you smash things, pretty self-explanatory. But not only do these stances give you different offensive options, they also provide defensive options as well. While you're balanced atop your staff in the pillar stance, you can extend its height, making it so you can avoid ground attacks. Meanwhile, the thrust stance offers up the offense and defense skill, which allows you to perform a tactical retreat while you're in the middle of a light attack combo. Each of these stances offers up something different, and some will work better than others when it comes to certain enemies and bosses, so be sure to experiment with all of them. The focus meter is located here on the bottom right of your screen, and can be charged up by performing actions such as attacking enemies or charging up a heavy attack. When this meter is charged up, you'll get a focus point. These points allow you to use powerful heavy attacks that can stagger enemies, and those attacks will become even stronger with the more points that you have. Initially, you will only start with one focus point, but there are skills that will unlock more later on. Certain combos also require focus points, so it's always a good idea to keep a point or two saved up for when you run into a tricky encounter. Now, speaking of focus and heavy attacks, aim to start every battle you can with a charged heavy attack. You can't keep your heavy attack charged forever, so you need to time it so you can use your heavy attack just as the fight starts. If you have the Force Unbound skill unlocked, you could go into the smash stance, charge up your heavy attack while you're sprinting, and get some extra mobility so you can go in and slap enemies with your heavy. Now, here's an easy tip. If you get knocked down for any reason, instead of waiting to get back up, use dodge to get back on your feet quickly. This lets you avoid taking any additional damage, and you can rejoin the fight. You have a move in your arsenal called the staff spin, which can be used to deflect arrows. It can deflect a variety of other projectiles too, including ones fired by annoying bosses. If you unlock the mobile spin skill, you can even perform the staff spin while you move towards the jackass who's trying to shoot you. Improving your weapon and crafting new armor are a big part of Black Myth Wukong. You can craft new gear at a keeper's shrine through the crafting menu. Doing so will require specific crafting materials, the right amount of will, and sometimes some additional items. If you have the right stuff to make new weapons and armor, you should always do so, as you'll increase your offensive and defensive capabilities. Additionally, if you happen to craft and equip a complete set of armor, they'll often give you special buffs, abilities, or resistances when worn all together. And speaking of those special armor properties, sometimes higher stats aren't as important as the buffs you get from a full set of armor. For example, there's one armor set that allows you to fight and move easier while you're in water. So if you entered an area where water is slowing you down, wearing this armor may be a better idea, even if it doesn't have a higher defensive stat. This can also apply to what you put into your gourd, drink, and soak, and your curios. Different situations call for different strategies, so be prepared to switch up your gear when needed. Finally, Black Myth Wukong gives you plenty of toys to play with, and you should use everything that you're given. This includes spells, spirit skills, and transformations, which, as the name implies, let you turn into a different form with unique attacks and abilities. Knowing when to use your abilities is important. For example, if an enemy is charging at you and you're completely out of stamina, that's a good time to use your Immobilize spell to give you a moment to recover. When it comes to spells and spirit skills, there are moments where they can be used the best, but with transformations, it's often best to use these right at the start of a boss fight. Transformations have a cooldown, So if you use them at the beginning of a battle, depending on how long the boss fight goes, you may get to use it a second time. Transformations also have their own health bar, giving you some extra health to play with that could come in handy if you're trying to preserve the uses of your healing gourd. For more Black Myth Wukong news and guides, be sure to check out thegamer.com. I'm Jamie Latour, and we'll see you next time.